The galaxy was vast and teeming with life, its countless civilizations bound together in a sprawling alliance. For centuries, the more advanced species had held sway, their technology and military prowess ensuring dominance. Then came humanity, an unremarkable species by galactic standards, small, fragile, and limited in their technological achievements. To many, their inclusion in the alliance felt like a political gesture, a curiosity rather than a necessity. At the prestigious Galactic Military Academy, where the finest cadets from each species trained for interstellar conflict, the arrival of the first human recruits caused a stir. Among the towering, multi-limbed insectoids and the sleek, reptilian elites, the human cadets looked comically out of place. Their two-legged gait, their lack of natural armor, and their inability to communicate telepathically made them a spectacle. Whispered laughter and subtle gestures of mockery followed their every move. "Primitive," muttered a towering alien with crystalline skin, its voice resonating like glass breaking. Another cadet, a serpentine creature with scales that shimmered in the light, hissed in agreement. The humans heard the comments but offered no reaction. They were here to prove themselves, not to engage in petty disputes. Still, the weight of ridicule was palpable. During the initial training sessions, the gap between humans and their alien peers became glaringly obvious. The training modules were designed to challenge advanced species, with complex simulations that required telepathic coordination or lightning-fast reflexes. The human cadets stumbled, their movements clumsy compared to the fluid precision of the aliens. In hand-to-hand combat drills, their lack of natural weaponry, no claws, no venomous fangs, was a glaring disadvantage. The alien instructors, seasoned veterans of countless conflicts, regarded the humans with thinly veiled disdain. Their critiques were harsh, their tone dismissive. "You must adapt faster," barked one, its voice carrying a tone of finality. "War waits for no one, and certainly not for you." The other cadets, watching from the sidelines, laughed openly. Yet, amidst the humiliation, the humans remained resolute. There was no outward display of frustration or anger, only a quiet determination that set them apart. While other cadets celebrated their victories in the mess hall, the human group stayed behind to review their training recordings. They analyzed every mistake, debated tactics, and devised new strategies. If they couldn't rely on superior physiology, they would make up for it with intellect and creativity. The academy grounds became a testing field for human ingenuity. Unable to compete in raw strength or speed, they began to experiment. In one physical endurance test, where cadets were required to traverse a brutal obstacle course, the humans excelled not by brute force but by teamwork. They constructed makeshift tools from the surrounding environment, solving problems that had stumped other species. This drew the attention of some alien instructors, though their praise was begrudging. Still, the ridicule from their peers persisted. During a zero-gravity training exercise, one alien cadet tampered with the humans' equipment, causing them to spin uncontrollably. Instead of panicking, the humans used the momentum to propel themselves toward their objective. Their resourcefulness irritated their rivals, who had expected chaos, not success. The humans' leader, a young cadet with a sharp mind and a calm demeanor, addressed his team after every session. "We're not here to match them on their terms," he would say. "We're here to show them why humanity belongs here." His words were a rallying cry, fueling the group's resolve to face the increasingly hostile environment with grace and ingenuity. As the weeks passed, small victories began to accumulate. In one tactical simulation, the humans managed to outmaneuver a team of more experienced alien cadets by exploiting an oversight in the simulation's programming. They used tactics drawn from Earth's ancient history, blending deception with precision. While their rivals scoffed at their methods, the results were undeniable. But for every triumph, there were twice as many challenges. In combat drills, the humans often found themselves paired against species with overwhelming advantages. They learned to endure, to study their opponents, and to adapt mid-fight. This adaptability began to unsettle the other cadets. The humans were no longer the bumbling newcomers. They were unpredictable, and unpredictability was dangerous. Rumors began to spread through the academy. Some cadets speculated that the humans' persistence was a bluff, that their small victories were mere luck. Others, however, started to pay closer attention. An alien with a single cyclopean eye remarked to its comrades, "They're not as weak as they seem. Watch them closely." The comment was met with skepticism, but the sentiment lingered. Despite the growing tension, the humans kept to themselves. They formed no alliances, sought no approval, and gave no response to the jeers that followed them. Their focus was singular: survival and excellence. Every failure was met with analysis, every success with humility. They were playing a long game, one that their peers couldn't yet see. In the final days of the initial training phase, a new challenge was announced: a battlefield simulation. The instructors described it as the most rigorous test yet, a large-scale exercise designed to push cadets to their limits. The announcement sent a ripple of excitement through the academy. For the alien cadets, it was an opportunity to showcase their superiority. For the humans, it was a chance to silence the mockery once and for all. As they prepared, the human cadets were more focused than ever. Their leader gathered them in the dormitory, a stark, metallic room devoid of comforts. "This isn't just about us," he said, his voice steady but intense. "It's about humanity. They think we're small, weak, and irrelevant. Tomorrow, we show them what they've overlooked." The team nodded in unison, their resolve unshaken. The night before the simulation, the academy was abuzz with activity. Alien cadets sharpened their weapons, calibrated their gear, and exchanged boasts about how quickly they would dispatch the humans. In their quarters, the humans worked in silence, finalizing their plans. Their confidence was not in bravado but in preparation, a stark contrast to the overconfidence of their rivals. As the simulated sun rose over the battlefield the next day, the humans stood at the edge of the starting zone, their eyes scanning the horizon. They were ready, not just for the test but for the moment that would define their place in the galaxy. The training began as a gauntlet of challenges, exposing every weakness the human cadets possessed. The exercises were calibrated for species with inherent advantages, extra limbs, heightened senses, or telepathic communication. Humans were, by every measure, underqualified for these tasks. However, where they lacked in natural attributes, they compensated with a relentless ability to adapt. Each day brought new hurdles. The human cadets analyzed their failures with a ruthless precision, identifying patterns and weaknesses in the training modules. Alien cadets scoffed at their slow starts, mocking their need to rely on trial and error. Yet the humans quietly persisted, building competence in areas where their rivals relied on instinct. They began to identify loopholes in the simulations, moments where ingenuity could triumph over brute force. Their problem-solving skills allowed them to circumvent obstacles that had been designed to favor physically superior species. Their progress was not without tension. Alien cadets, particularly those from more dominant species, took offense at what they saw as cheating. They failed to understand that the humans weren't breaking rules. They were redefining how the game was played. This sparked resentment, as some aliens began to view the humans' success as a threat. Meanwhile, the humans remained focused, indifferent to the increasing hostility. Their priority was survival and improvement, not popularity. One of the defining moments of their training came during group exercises. While most alien teams relied on their species' natural synergies, the humans relied on strategy and cohesion. They divided tasks based on individual strengths and communicated in ways that minimized errors. Their unorthodox tactics began to catch the attention of the instructors. Humans lacked telepathy, but their verbal coordination was precise, almost surgical. Their adaptability became a weapon, allowing them to adjust to unexpected variables faster than their alien counterparts. The human cadets also began to experiment with their combat styles. Earth's martial arts, honed over millennia of conflict, proved effective even against creatures with superior physiology. By targeting weak points and using leverage, they neutralized opponents who underestimated their smaller frames. These tactics, combined with an ability to think several moves ahead, gave them a growing edge in sparring matches. Alien cadets, who relied heavily on their natural attributes, struggled to counter the humans' calculated approach. As the humans improved, so did the hostility directed toward them. Sabotage attempts became common. Equipment was tampered with, schedules were manipulated, and misinformation was spread. The humans responded not with retaliation but by tightening their internal discipline. They double-checked their gear, verified their orders, and remained vigilant. This resilience only served to frustrate their detractors further. The humans' unshakable focus, combined with their ability to turn adversity into an advantage, began to unsettle even the most confident alien cadets. Despite the growing animosity, a few alien instructors started to take notice of the humans' progress. These instructors, veterans of countless battles, saw the value in adaptability and creativity. They began to quietly test the humans, assigning them increasingly difficult tasks to see how far they could push themselves. The humans met these challenges with the same determination they had shown since their arrival, often surprising even their instructors with their solutions. The humans also took note of their rivals. They observed the habits and strategies of the other cadets, learning their strengths and, more importantly, their weaknesses. They recognized patterns of arrogance and overconfidence, traits that could be exploited in a conflict. Their focus wasn't just on mastering the training exercises but on understanding the mindset of those they might one day face in battle. This psychological edge became another tool in their arsenal. By the midpoint of their training, the humans had begun to shift the narrative. They were no longer seen as hapless newcomers but as unpredictable challengers. Their rivals, once dismissive, started to approach them with caution. Some cadets even attempted to form alliances with the humans, hoping to co-opt their growing expertise. The humans, however, remained cautious, choosing their collaborations carefully. They understood that trust was a currency not freely given in an environment steeped in competition. The turning point came during a large-scale team exercise. Alien cadets relied on their physical dominance and technological superiority, executing predictable strategies that had worked in prior simulations. The humans, however, deviated from conventional tactics. They anticipated their opponents' moves, setting traps and luring them into ambushes. Their victory wasn't just a triumph of strategy but a statement of intent. The aliens could no longer ignore the humans' potential. With each passing challenge, the humans refined their approach. They mastered alien weaponry, retooled it for their own use, and even identified flaws in its design. Their growing technical expertise began to close the gap between their capabilities and those of their peers. The humans didn't just adapt to the training environment, they transformed it, redefining the standards by which success was measured. The resentment from other cadets grew, but it was now tempered by a begrudging respect. The humans had proven they could not be dismissed. Their ability to innovate, adapt, and endure had carved out a place for them in an academy that had initially seemed determined to see them fail. Their rivals had mocked them for their weaknesses, but those same weaknesses had become the foundation of their strength. As the end of the training phase approached, the humans faced their final set of evaluations with a quiet confidence. They were no longer the underdogs they had been on their arrival. They had learned to thrive in an environment that had been designed to exclude them. The challenges that had once seemed insurmountable were now opportunities to demonstrate their growth. The humans were ready, not just for the tests ahead but for the moment when their actions would speak louder than words. Their journey wasn't about proving their worth to the galaxy. It was about proving it to themselves. In the crucible of the academy, they had forged an identity that no amount of ridicule could erase. The final simulation commenced, a large-scale battlefield exercise designed to test every skill the cadets had developed during training. Teams were randomly assigned, but the humans, predictably, were grouped together, placed at a disadvantageous starting position with limited resources. Their alien peers saw it as an easy victory. The humans, however, saw it as an opportunity. The simulation's objective was clear: secure key strategic points while surviving assaults from rival teams. For many alien cadets, this was a test of brute strength and overwhelming firepower, leveraging the inherent advantages of their species. The humans approached it differently. They understood their limitations and embraced them. Instead of meeting force with force, they prioritized stealth, strategy, and precision. From the beginning, they avoided direct confrontation, moving quietly through the terrain while other teams clashed noisily in the open. The humans analyzed the battlefield, noting key choke points, potential ambush locations, and blind spots in the enemy's coverage. Their approach was meticulous and deliberate. While their rivals spent resources battling one another, the humans conserved their energy and struck only when they were sure of victory. Their tactics were unconventional. They exploited environmental features that alien cadets overlooked, using cover and concealment to outmaneuver their opponents. They set traps, luring teams into ambushes where their advanced weaponry and physical strength counted for nothing. Instead of playing by the rules of engagement that favored their competitors, the humans rewrote the rules entirely. This unpredictability threw their opponents into disarray, forcing them to react to a playbook they couldn't anticipate. Communication was another key advantage. The humans' coordination was seamless, their commands clear and decisive. While other teams relied on their inherent abilities, the humans operated as a unified force, each member contributing to the overall strategy. Their efficiency allowed them to accomplish tasks quickly, moving from one objective to the next with minimal delay. Rivals who encountered them often underestimated their capabilities, assuming they were an easy target. Those assumptions were quickly corrected. As the simulation progressed, the humans gained ground, capturing objectives with precision and timing that left instructors impressed. The other cadets began to notice the growing threat, and alliances formed to neutralize them. For the first time, the humans were treated as equals, not because of their standing but because their performance demanded it. This shift in perception fueled their determination to continue pushing forward. The humans faced challenges beyond the battlefield. The alliances against them meant they were often outnumbered, with superior technology bearing down on them from multiple angles. Yet, this only highlighted their resourcefulness. They used captured alien equipment, adapting it to suit their needs, and turned the enemy's strengths into weaknesses. Each engagement became a lesson, each victory a testament to their ability to evolve under pressure. Their rivals grew frustrated. Teams that had once mocked the humans found themselves retreating in confusion, unable to predict their next move. Even when the humans suffered setbacks, they regrouped and adapted, showing a resilience that many alien species lacked. It wasn't just their tactics that set them apart but their mindset. They treated every loss as a learning experience, every disadvantage as a puzzle to be solved. The instructors, watching from the observation platforms, began to see the humans not as anomalies but as pioneers. Their approach to the simulation defied conventional expectations, introducing a level of creativity that was rare in galactic warfare. While other teams focused on overwhelming force, the humans relied on finesse and adaptability, traits that had been underestimated from the start. Their performance was a lesson not just for their peers but for the Academy itself. By the final stages of the simulation, the humans had become the focal point of the exercise. Rival teams abandoned their objectives to hunt them down, determined to prove that humanity's success was a fluke. The humans anticipated this and turned the situation to their advantage. They used the distraction to secure critical objectives, achieving results that no one had thought possible. In the closing moments, the battlefield was silent, a stark contrast to the chaos that had defined the earlier stages. The humans had outlasted their rivals, outmaneuvered their adversaries, and outsmarted their pursuers. Their victory wasn't just decisive, it was transformative. The other cadets, many of whom had entered the simulation with mockery on their lips, now stood in stunned silence. The simulation ended with a formal debrief, during which the humans' performance was dissected and analyzed. The instructors, who had once dismissed them as primitive, spoke with genuine respect, acknowledging their ingenuity and determination. The other cadets, though reluctant to admit it, couldn't deny the evidence of their success. The humans had not only survived but excelled, proving that their place in the Academy, and the galaxy, was well earned. Their journey through the simulation was a testament to the qualities that defined them as a species. They weren't the strongest, the fastest, or the most technologically advanced, but they were the most adaptable. Their ability to learn, to innovate, and to persevere in the face of overwhelming odds was a strength that no other species could replicate. In the silence of the battlefield, the galaxy began to see humanity in a new light. The simulation's aftermath rippled through the Academy like a shockwave. Instructors and cadets alike were forced to reevaluate their assumptions about humanity. For weeks, the humans had been mocked, ridiculed, and dismissed as irrelevant. Now, they stood as undeniable proof that underestimation could be fatal. Their performance was not just a victory in a training exercise but a challenge to the established hierarchy of galactic species. The instructors, veterans with decades of experience across countless campaigns, gathered to discuss the implications. The humans had defied expectations not through brute strength or superior technology but through ingenuity and sheer determination. These traits were difficult to quantify, but their impact was undeniable. The humans' success raised uncomfortable questions. Were traditional measures of military prowess flawed? Were the Academy's exercises designed to favor physical and technological superiority at the expense of strategic adaptability? The humans had not only succeeded but exposed the blind spots in a system thought to be infallible. Among the cadets, reactions were mixed. Some, particularly those whose teams had suffered defeats at the hands of the humans, were resentful. They argued that the humans' methods were unorthodox, even underhanded. Yet, even the most vocal critics couldn't dismiss the results. Other cadets, however, began to view the humans with newfound respect. For the first time, they saw value in qualities that their own species lacked: improvisation, collaboration, and an almost stubborn refusal to accept defeat. These qualities, once mocked, were now recognized as strengths. The humans themselves were unaffected by the chatter. They understood that their journey was far from over. The simulation had proven a point, but it was only the beginning. Their performance had earned them attention, but with it came scrutiny and expectations. The humans knew they had set a precedent. If they faltered now, their success would be dismissed as a fluke. They approached the next phase of their training with the same focus and discipline that had carried them through the simulation. The Academy, however, was not the only place where the humans' actions were being discussed. News of the simulation's outcome reached the higher echelons of the Galactic Alliance. Politicians and military strategists took note, their interest piqued by reports of the humans' unconventional tactics. To many, the humans represented a wild card, an unpredictable element in a galaxy dominated by established powers. While some viewed this unpredictability as a threat, others saw it as an opportunity. Humanity's potential, once dismissed, was now a topic of serious debate. Back at the Academy, the humans continued to refine their skills. They dissected the simulation in painstaking detail, identifying areas for improvement. Their success had not made them complacent. If anything, it had heightened their awareness of their limitations. They knew they still had much to learn and were determined to do so. This humility, coupled with their relentless drive, set them apart from their peers. Their growing reputation began to attract attention from unexpected quarters. Alien cadets who had once ridiculed them now approached them with curiosity, seeking to understand the mindset that had led to their success. The humans, wary but not unkind, shared their perspectives sparingly. They understood that while alliances could be useful, trust was something to be earned, not given freely. Their guarded openness further enhanced their mystique, making them both admired and enigmatic. The instructors, too, began to change their approach. Exercises were adjusted to incorporate elements that tested creativity and adaptability. These changes, while subtle, marked a shift in the Academy's philosophy. The humans had forced a reevaluation of what it meant to be a capable soldier. It was no longer enough to rely on inherent advantages. Strategy, innovation, and resilience had proven to be equally, if not more, important. As the humans advanced through the Academy, their influence began to extend beyond their own training. Their peers started to adopt some of their methods, experimenting with unorthodox tactics and placing greater emphasis on teamwork. This quiet revolution, sparked by a handful of human cadets, began to reshape the Academy's culture. It was no longer enough to be the strongest or the fastest. Now, cadets were judged by their ability to think critically and adapt to unforeseen challenges. For the humans, these changes were a validation of their approach. They had not set out to change the galaxy, but their presence had done so nonetheless. Their success was not just a personal achievement, but a statement about humanity's place in the galaxy. They had proven that they were not just survivors but innovators, capable of thriving in an environment where they were initially seen as inferior. As their time at the academy drew to a close, the humans reflected on what they had accomplished. They had faced ridicule, hostility, and overwhelming odds, yet they had emerged stronger. Their journey had been one of transformation, not just for themselves but for those around them. They had shown that strength was not limited to physical power or advanced technology. True strength lay in the ability to adapt, to persevere, and to overcome. The humans left the academy as more than just graduates. They were symbols of what humanity could achieve. Their journey was far from over, but they carried with them the lessons they had learned and the bonds they had forged. The galaxy, once dismissive of their potential, now looked to them with a mixture of curiosity and respect. The humans had arrived not as equals but as pioneers, charting a course that would shape the future of the Alliance. Their legacy was one of quiet defiance and relentless determination. They had entered the academy as underdogs and emerged as trailblazers, their actions leaving an indelible mark on a galaxy that had once mocked their existence. For the humans, this was only the beginning. They had proven their worth not just to the academy but to themselves, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.